Now let's go through the papers this morning with political editors from HuffPost UK, Kevin Schofield, and the journalist and author Ella Wheeler. Morning, you two, once again.
Morning.
Ella, can we start with the Telegraph and this very odd picture, which apparently is going to help Prince Andrew?
Yes, so for those of you listening on the radio, the picture on the front page of the Telegraph is two individuals, one with a photo of Virginia Giuffre on their face and the other one with a photo of Prince Andrew in a bath, which
fully
is
clothed, we should say.
Fully clothed, which is supposed to be, it's a photo that was intended to be used as evidence during Ghislaine Maxwell's trial to allegedly prove that the claim from Virginia Giuffre that herself and the Duke had relationships, let's put it that way, at this time of the morning, in a bath was untenable because of the size of the bath, and they're basically sort of trying to prove that the bath is too small for, as Ghislaine Maxwell's relation puts it, for sex frolicking. And the reason why this is front page rather than just sort of gossip mongering is that it was intended to be used during Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, but was never relevant because Virginia Giuffre wasn't part of that trial. And so essentially this has been released by Maxwell's family as a kind of offering to Prince Andrew to say, if you want to use this photograph as evidence in any kind of future legal proceedings, then be my guest.
I don't really think it suggests a lot, does it, in terms of defence?
No, I mean, I think I'm no legal expert, but the bath, I've seen smaller baths, let's put it that way. And there is also, there's an important element to this, which is that because Virginia Giuffre, in a different case with a different individual, has retracted her allegations, there's news that Prince Andrew is consulting his lawyers, thinking about the settlement that he and Ms Giuffre came to, which was to the tune of £9.7 million. And basically, this photograph is allegedly raising a whole lot of questions about the previous legal proceedings.
I don't think it proves anything, because frankly, if you're young and flexible, that would not be impossible. Take it from me. Now,
you said it, not me, Angela.
And I happen to know...
Take your word for it there.
As I happen to know, he was doing yoga at the time, so yeah, it might well have worked. Anyhow, we won't go there. Kevin,
moving swiftly on.
Moving swiftly on to the fact that apparently 100,000 teachers are set to strike, which is obviously going to affect schools in England and Wales.
Yeah, about half state schools in England and Wales are going to close on Wednesday, they reckon. And I think this potentially has the potential to be the most disruptive of all the strikes that we've had. We've had a lot, obviously, in the last few months because of the knock-on effect in terms of parents having to either take days off work from home, somehow draft in emergency childcare. When your kid's off school, even if they're sick, it's difficult. But now you're talking about across the whole of the country, you're talking hundreds of thousands of kids will be stuck at home. Good for the kids, nice day off for them, I'm sure. Yeah. But for the parents, it's an absolute nightmare, and it's the type of thing that really, this is why unions do it. That's their leverage. It causes disruption, and it makes voters unhappy. They blame the government, and the unions hope that the government then comes back to the negotiating table and increases their pay. So we'll wait and see. Thus far, the government's been pretty immovable on public sector pay. And it's not just the parents, of course, the children themselves. I mean, particularly the ones who are, the far end of their schooling, particularly, because they've got exams coming up. Right? Absolutely, and also, they obviously lost a lot of schooling time during the pandemic, having to be homeschooled, which was far from ideal. And yeah, this is just a further disruption to their education, and this is just the start of it. Unless there's a resolution to the dispute, there will be more strikes like this, which will cause even more disruption.
Angela, have you got an honour?
Yes.
Oh, have you? What have you got?
I've got an OBE and a CBE.
Have you got CBE?
Yes.
No, you see, I'm extremely jealous. And Anne's just got an OBE. I feel like the odd one out.
Oh.
I don't deserve one. I don't deserve one.
What can we make you then? Top dog today?
Top dog, that'll do. Very nicely. Now, Alan Cumming, the actor, has got an OBE. He's had it for 10 years or so.
More, 2009, yes.
Oh, right. But he's giving it back.
He is. He's announced on his Instagram Post that he is giving back his OB after careful consideration. He was incredibly grateful to receive it in 2009, but because he has, after the death of the Queen, he says, come to understand that the British Empire profited at the expense and death of indigenous peoples across the world. That's a quote from his Instagram post. And that he thinks that the great good the award brought to the LGBTQ plus cause back in 2009 is now less potent than the misgivings I have being associated with the toxicity of empires. This is a very kind of fashionable approach to take to the royals at the moment. I mean, whatever you think of the whole row about British Empire, there is something a little bit Johnny-come-lately about deciding, 10 or 13 years along the line that because it's now very right on to talk about empire and all that kind of thing, that you want to give back your OBE. And I wanted to remind everybody of Benjamin Zephaniah, the poet who in 2003, and I just read this fantastic article that he wrote for The Guardian way back in the early 2000s, when he got a letter from Tony Blair, who he had, as he points out, he had been trying to get in contact with for a long, long time, wanted to meet him about deaths and police custody and things like that, and then suddenly got an invite by Blair to come to the palace and get an OBE, and his response was, to use his words, stick it. So he, at the time, said, no way, this is not something, and he's, cited things about empire, but also other, he talked about the Iraq War and things like that, and said, there's just no way I would accept this, no thank you. And I think there's, it's important to sort of draw a distinction between people who, a principled stance, you can develop a principled stance, but I think there's something slightly sort of opportunistic about Alan Cummings' position that, at a time when, you've got Harry and Meghan doing documentaries with, historians like David Olusoga or commentators like Afua Hirsch talking about empire, and it's all very kind of safe and easy to be sort of like the royals are a toxic empire-ridden, horrible people at the moment.
But he lives in America now. He's been working there for a very, very long time. And the Americans have not exactly got a very good track record, have they? Particularly with the indigenous people of their own country, the Native American Indian.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those. It's the easiest thing to talk about empire and the royals. I mean, it really shouldn't have taken Alan Cummings, since 2009 to realise it. But it's also I don't know how it's supposed to inspire LGBTQ plus people to I have given back my award. Think, oh, what a sacrifice.
But was he completely ignorant when he got it about the empire and the history of empire, or was he? Did he not
presumably,
what the E stood for? And I mean, it's a bit.
Well, look, each to their own. He's entitled to do what he likes. I wouldn't give mine back if I had one.
You'd wear it as well.
I would wear it. Yes, I would.
I tell you what, I'll bring mine in tomorrow. You can borrow it.
Oh,
how's that?
I'd like to look at it though. I'd like to look at it. That'd be an honour. Fabulous. Right.
Enough of that.
We'll catch up with you two a little bit later on.